All right, we're gonna cover the shooting that just happened today at Minnesota, Minneapolis, where a individual decided to shoot up a Catholic school for some fucking reason. Oh look, it's Tim Walz, Tampon Tim. Notice how it happened in his state too. Oh, by the way, it was a trans person again, apparently. Don't know why. But for whatever reason, the mentality of these people who, right? For whatever reason, they decide to go off the deep end and
Well, good
start
afternoon,
killing people.
everyone. Certainly a day and a news conference that no one wants to be at. A community behind us, Annunciation Church and School, committed to academics, service, and Catholic values, filled with the first days of school of beautiful
Sorry, my
children
shit kind of
going to
froze.
learn those values, share with their teachers and
I
their
guess I'm like doing
classmates.
too
And
much on my computer.
instead of that joy and that
Too many
curiosity and that learning, they
actions.
were met with evil and horror and death. And we often come to these and say, these unspeakable tragedies, or there's no words for this. There shouldn't be words for these types of incidents because they should not happen. And there's no words that are going to ease the pain of the families today. On behalf of all the people of Minnesota, our deepest sympathies, a wish that any of these words would make what you're feeling now better, but it won't. A place that's founded on community, founded on service, founded on family. I'd like to give special thank you to the mayor and the team in Minneapolis, the Minneapolis Police Department, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, Minnesota State Patrol, the BCA, so many agencies, our federal partners in the FBI, the first responders, and the heroic work that's happening now as we speak at multiple medical locations, including Hennepin County Medical Center, where most of our children were transported to receive the life-saving care. The thoughts and prayers and the hopes and the support that we need to give them in this moment too is critical. Speaking with all the people here and grateful to our federal partners, Senator Klobuchar speaking early this morning and receiving a call from President Trump, who was with his leadership team of the Attorney General and the Vice President, expressing their deep condolences amongst the horror that happened and an offer to provide the support to the folks here in Minnesota of what's needed. So there's a lot of cameras here, and unfortunately we have been through these types of things. They will be gone at some point. All of you, you have to do your jobs. But what happened here today will not be gone. Minnesotans will not step away. We'll stand with this community. We'll redouble ourselves to do the best we can to understand what we can do to prevent any parent from having to receive the calls they received today, from any school dedicated to children having to respond to a situation that, as we said, is unthinkable, but that's all too common, not just in Minnesota, but across this country. It's Minnesota's day today, and it's my strongest desire that no state, no community, no school ever experiences a day like this. So I ask the rest of the folks around the country who are watching, keep us in your thoughts and prayers, but also keep us in the thoughts for action together. And it's on these days like this, I think, and I hope we can hold on to it, we are unified as a community. Everybody across the country today is part of the Annunciation Parish, and they're with those families. With that, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey.
Oh, it's this guy.
Thank you, Governor.
This is the
Throughout
same
the
guy that
morning,
cried at
we have seen this
George
extraordinary
Floyd's funeral,
Minneapolis
by the way.
family
So you
step
shouldn't,
up in thousands of
honestly, you
different
shouldn't take
ways.
Tim. Well, I mean, look,
People
I
with
know they're
strength,
trying to say some nice things, but these
resilience,
two people are fucking
compassion,
assholes.
and love for the families that have been forever impacted by this heinous act. We want to make sure that we're doing everything possible for them right now, and I want to give a special thank you, and we are so grateful to all of the faculty and the teachers at Annunciation. The way that they acted during severe threat and danger was nothing short of heroic. This is a tragic and horrible event that should never occur, and it would have been all the more tragic and horrible had they not stepped in, at times perhaps put themselves in danger to protect others. As horrible as this has been, it could have been far worse. I'm grateful for our law enforcement partners, our police officers in the Minneapolis Police Department and other law enforcement agencies well beyond that step up, that answered the call to make sure that they were running towards danger when so many of the rest of us would have run in the other direction. Thank you. We are so appreciative of your service. To Principal DeBoer and your whole team, the ethic that you have showed, the love that you've shown, it's flat out incredible. And at the same time, look, we need to be doing more than talking. It can't just be words. There needs to be action. And when we have seen school shooting after school shooting, when we have seen churches get shot up by horrible actors, I think the
same guy, by the way.
impetus has to be on all of us as leaders to do a whole lot more, to recognize that we've got more guns in this country than we have people.
Oh, he's gonna blame the guns now. Oh, here we
it's
go.
on all of us to
He's gonna
recognize
blame
the
the
truth and
guns
reality
now.
that we
Fuck
can't just
you.
say that this shouldn't happen again and then allow it
Dude,
to
it's
happen
always,
again.
dude, they
and
always
again
throw
beyond
that fucking card
It's
out,
on all of
man.
us.
It's always the guns. It's always someone else
And
to blame. It's always
I
this
have heard
person. It's
about a
always
whole lot
that
of hate
person.
that's
It's
being
always this
directed
inanimate
at our trans
object that fucking did the crime.
Anybody
like, what the fuck, man?
who is using this as an
I am
opportunity
so sick
to
of these
villainize our
people.
trans community or any other community out there has
See, this
lost
is
their
why I have a
sense of
problem
common
with human
humanity.
beings in general.
We
I'm
should
so
not be
sick of these
operating out of a place
motherfuckers.
of hate for anyone. We should be
Oh,
operating
God.
from a place of love.
This is
for
why
our
I want to
kids.
fucking start hanging people. These people
Kids
don't
died
deserve
today.
their fucking positions.
This needs to be
These
about
people are
them.
not my well, I mean, this isn't
This
even
needs
my
to be
state.
wrapping our arms around
So,
these
good thing I
families
don't
with
give a
every
fuck.
bit of love that we
Jesus.
can possibly show.
What a shithole state.
And I know that our Minneapolis family and well
Oh,
beyond
I
is
know our
prepared to do
Dude, you're such
exactly
a soy.
that. And so
such
my
a
message to
fucking-
everyone out
Honestly,
there
I shouldn't be making.
is, again,
I shouldn't. You know
these
what?
families
This isn't
are
the time to be
experiencing some
mad at
acute
these
pain
people,
right now.
but they are the
But
problems.
don't just think
to be honest,
of these as
they
somebody
are
else's
the fucking
kids.
problems.
Think
I mean,
of your
just
own.
look at what this fucking kid was saying.
Let's make sure that we're acting now to not just say it's never happening again.
It's
but
literally
ensure
some of the
it
same
doesn't.
talking points these motherfuckers have been
A
spouting.
chief of police who's been working tirelessly
And then he
throughout
goes
the day,
shooting up a
along
fucking
with, again, a
school.
number of different
Or, I
law
mean,
enforcement
church.
agencies,
I mean,
investigators,
they shoot up schools
federal
too, so.
partners, state partners. Thank you, Senator Klobuchar, for being here. Been working tirelessly, and I'd like to invite him up to give some more of the details that have come up. Chief.
My name is Brian O'Hara, B-R-I-A-N,
Finally, thank you.
O''H-A-R-A.
Moved on from.
I am the Minneapolis Police
There's
Chief.
an update. Well, this is the first
Good
initial.
afternoon, and thank you all for your
right,
patience
this is the first
as
initial.
we continue to gather the facts in this investigation into this
Talk
truly
about it
unthinkable
after
tragedy
the
that
incident.
happened here earlier today. I want to make sure that we are providing the most accurate information possible, particularly as we speak around our victims. At this point, we know we have a total of 19 victims from this tragedy. 2 were young children, ages 8 and 10, that were sitting in the pews at Mass when they were shot and killed. They were pronounced deceased on the scene. There were another 14 children between the ages of 6 and 15 that were injured by gunfire. There were also 3 adults in their 80s that were parishioners here attending Mass that were also shot in this incident. The families of all of the children that have been affected have been notified. The coward that shot these victims took his own life in the rear of the church. That coward has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, no prior criminal history. As to the weapons used to perpetrate this horrific attack, there was a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. All 3 had been lawfully purchased by the shooter. At this stage, we believe that the shooter had acted alone. There is no indication of other suspects directly involved in carrying out this attack. Our investigators are working with other agencies in the process of executing 4 search warrants. 1 is for the church itself, where this crime occurred. The other 3 are residences nearby in the metro that are related to this shooter. Additional firearms are being recovered from those 3 residential locations as we speak. We are also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings. That content has since been taken down with the assistance of the FBI, and it now remains under active review by our investigators. We know this community is reeling and is in pain. I want to ensure everyone in our community, this parish, all of the families affected, and all of our residents, that all of law enforcement collectively, local law enforcement, our county, our state, and all of our federal law enforcement partners have been here, and we are all working tirelessly to uncover the full scope of what happened, to try and identify a motive why it happened, and whether there are any other further details. We will continue to share updates as the investigation progresses, and we remain committed to being as transparent as possible while protecting the integrity of this investigation. In a moment, I will take some questions that I am able to answer, but first I want to bring up the principal of Annunciation School, Matt Du Bois, as well as, after him, the Archbishop, our Archbishop Bernard Hebda. So, Principal.
We
Good
got
afternoon,
one
everyone.
of the
To
members
any
of
of
the
our
church.
students and families and staff watching right now, I love you. You're so brave, and I'm so sorry this happened to us today. Within seconds of this situation beginning, our teachers were heroes. Children were ducked down. Adults were protecting children. Older children were protecting younger children. And as we heard earlier, it could have been significantly worse without their heroic action. This is a nightmare, but we call our staff the dream team. And we will recover from this. We will rebuild from this. When we planned for this school year, we intentionally chose a theme from the prophet Jeremiah chapter 29, a future filled with hope. There's nothing about today that can fill us with hope. We, as a community, have a responsibility to make sure that no child, no parent, no teacher ever has to experience what we've experienced today, ever again. I need everybody to commit those words to your speech patterns, never again. We lost 2 angels today. And please continue to pray for those still receiving care. We can't change the past, but we can do something about the future. There's an African proverb that says, when you pray, move your feet. So I beg you, I ask you to please pray, but don't stop with your words. Let's make a difference and support this community, these children, these families, these teachers. Never again can we let this happen. I love you, Annunciation family. We're with you, and we will be stronger when this is done. Archbishop Hebda will be coming next.
So there's another person.
Thank you, Principal
So
DeBoer.
everyone's just
I'm so
going
grateful
to be
that
saying
Mayor
their
Fry and the Chief
2 cents,
both
basically.
mentioned how valiant you and your staff were. I'm so grateful to the pastor here at Annunciation, Father Dennis Zarin, for the deacon, Deacon Kevin Keneally, also were heroic in this time. But how sad it is, for sure, not only for the families who are directly involved, but indeed for families everywhere who feel the threat that comes from an event, a tragedy like today's. I would never want to correct a principal, but Principal DeBoer said it wasn't so clear where would be the source of hope. And brothers and sisters, we have to be men and women of hope. Already today, I've been receiving messages from all over our country promising prayers. And I think it's the prayers of the feet as well, Principal. That is, for me, is a source of hope, just as we see families stepping forward to help those who have been impacted by this terrible tragedy. Very grateful that Principal DeBoer spoke about prayer. Certainly that the bell in a Catholic church is always a call to prayer, and so it's a reminder for us, for sure, to be praying. And we have to recognize that it's through prayer and through that prayer of the feet, through that action, that we can indeed make a difference. That has to be the source of our hope. I was particularly pleased today to receive a message from Pope Leo. If you'd bear with me, I'd like to share that with you. It comes directly from Cardinal Pietro Parolin, who's the Secretary of State, and it reads like this. His Holiness Pope Leo XIV was profoundly saddened to learn of the loss of life and injuries following the shooting that took place at Annunciation Church in Minneapolis. And he sends his heartfelt condolences and the assurance of spiritual closeness to all those affected by this terrible tragedy, especially the families now grieving the loss of a child, while commending the souls of the deceased children to the love of Almighty God. His Holiness prays for the wounded as well as the first responders, medical personnel, and clergy who are caring for them and their loved ones. At this extremely difficult time, the Holy Father imparts to the Annunciation Catholic school community, the Archdiocese of St. Paul and Minneapolis, and the people of the greater Twin Cities metropolitan area, his apostolic blessing as a pledge of peace, fortitude, and consolation in the Lord Jesus. My brothers and sisters, that gives me some hope. We know that the Holy Father, Pope Leo, did his hospital training right here in Minneapolis, so he knows our community, and he's been reminding anybody visiting from Minnesota that he spent some time here. We're very grateful for his blessing, but I, like those who have spoken before, ask that you would continue to look for those ways of supporting those who have been impacted today, not only with your prayers, but also with your action. Thank you. And Chief, I now turn this back to you for your questions.
Thank you, Archbishop. I'll take some questions now, and additionally, we will let you know when we can provide some updated information.
How are the injured students doing? What are their conditions at this point?
The question from Matt was, how are the injured students doing? I believe all of them have their parents with them now, and they are all expected to survive. All of the remaining victims are expected to survive. There is a range of injuries, however.
Chief, you said the weapons were acquired legally. Do we know when
Yes.
and where they were acquired?
I can tell you they were purchased recently.
Chief, can you tell us anything more about a possible motive here? We've also heard reports that the suspected shooter's mother was an employee here at some point. Can you confirm that as well?
Okay. So the question was on a possible motive and a relationship to the church or to the school. I have no information to share on a motive other than saying again that there was some sort of manifesto that was timed to come out on YouTube. It's been taken down, and our investigators are going through that to try and develop a motive from that. Additionally, there are these 3 search warrants happening in residential locations, and we may very well, find more information or writings that could give some sense to that, but we don't have that now. And I cannot confirm a relationship between the suspect or his family and this church at this time, but that's obviously something we're looking very closely at.
About the manifesto, can you confirm at this point whether it was in fact by the suspect, or you believe at this point that it is in fact from him? And second question,
What was by the suspect?
the
I'm sorry.
manifesto that you've been talking about.
Yep. So the question was about the manifesto. We do believe it was by the suspect, yes.
And we understand that we've seen some documents about a name change that somebody with the same name as the suspect has filed for a few years ago.
Yep.
Do you believe this to be the same person, that Robin Westman was in fact born with a different name at this point, and can you speak a little bit more about the identity?
Yep. So the question was about the suspect, and he had had a name change at some point in the past. I cannot confirm that, other than confirming the identity, the name that I gave you, the age. That is the suspect. That's the person that we believe has caused this.
So apparently this person might have changed their name, right?
Is there anything that the suspect posted days prior, months
Because
prior?
usually when they transition, they change their
Yep.
names.
So the question was, we mentioned that the YouTube videos were scheduled to be posted. Is there anything else in social media
I
that
don't
may
know if they change it
shed some
legally
light
or
into
they
this?
just start
We do not
calling
have
themselves
information
that.
on that at this time.
It's hard
but
to
I'm,
say because
able
they
to share.
don't.
However, our
They didn't
investigators
say.
and our law enforcement partners are definitely looking at that.
About how many children and parishioners were in the church when this happened?
So the question was how many children and parishioners were in the church when this happened. This was towards the beginning of Mass, so some of the children were already filed into the church and were seated. Others were coming in. I've heard
here's an
estimates, but we will release a more definitive number.
Chief, Minneapolis police officers have had a tough couple of days. I know we're talking about the children
Yep.
in this incident, but there were several shootings yesterday.
Yep.
How is the resourcing going for you? Are you getting help from other places?
Yep. So Sue's question was resources for Minneapolis police due to the other challenges we've had the last 24 hours. Obviously, this has been the most difficult. The dozens of officers that responded to this scene, many of them are deeply traumatized by what they saw, as are obviously all of the children, all of the staff members, Father Dennis, everyone who was at Mass this morning. So obviously that has been our number one priority, is to care for the health and wellness of the officers that responded here. Additionally, obviously, we have responded to other challenging situations and other acts of violence. I can say, in regard to the shooting that happened outside of the high school yesterday, we have arrested 2 people for assisting in that shooting. We have not gotten the shooter yet, but we believe we have 2 people under arrest that were present with the shooter when that happened, and we're making significant progress. There was an additional arrest at a homicide last night that happened on the 2700 block of 3rd Avenue South. That person has not been booked specifically for being responsible for that murder, but we believe that is the person who caused that. So,
First time you've ever had to deal with a mass shooting here?
no, unfortunately not. Yep.
A lot of the politicians here, the principal and others have said that this can never happen again. I'm just wondering if you have a suggestion for where we start to make sure it doesn't ever happen again.
Yeah, so the question was, where do we start to make sure this doesn't happen again? I don't have an answer for that at this time.
Chief, we understand from the federals that there is an idea that this might be investigated, maybe it already is, I'm not sure my information, as a hate crime against Catholics. I'm asking you, perhaps, Archbishop, is this a line of investigation that you have open? Can you comment on that?
So the question is this an investigation into a hate crime against Catholics? We don't have a motive at this time. Obviously, we're open to any possibilities at all, but we don't have a motive or anything to suggest
Do you
that.
know if there is any more safety, any more protective measures that are implemented at other Catholic schools throughout the Twin Cities or churches? I'm sure there are masses going around right now this afternoon.
Yeah.
It's just a week out from, or a few days before the start of school.
Yeah. So the question is the concern for other churches, other schools around the metro. Unfortunately, this is something that our community has been dealing with for some time. The threat of active shooters, the threat of hate crimes at houses of worship, unfortunately, is not something new here. And of course, our precinct inspectors, our crime prevention specialists are available to work with both houses of worship, churches, and schools that do reach out to assist in any additional security measures or advice that we can offer them.
Question about that to follow up. Are you aware if this is the first time that actually a Catholic mass has been targeted and there have been victims inside a Catholic church during mass? In the Twin Cities, not
In the Twin Cities?
I'm unaware of any other.
Yeah, from the the question was, this the first time that there's been attack of Catholics at Mass in the Twin Cities area? The Archbishop is unaware of any other attack.
The FBI is saying that this is being investigated as domestic terrorism. Are you also tracking this?
The question was, is it being investigated by the FBI?
The FBI director is saying this is domestic terrorism. Is that what you're tracking?
Well, the FBI is here with us and has been a part of this entire investigation, as well as the ATF, other law enforcement. It's being led right now by the Minneapolis Police Department, and we are looking at, obviously, any possibilities from wherever the evidence will lead us from what we recover. Absolutely.
Thank you all again so much for your time today, for your support. Thank you. Yes, I think there's probably 2 names you would like spelling for. It's Principal
Okay.
Matt DeBoer, D-E-M-A-T-T.
Sorry, I'm not really like
D-E-B-O-E-R.
talking because I'm just really
David Edward
just listening.
Boy,
Sorry.
Ocean Edward Robert. And then it's Art
Talking to
Bishop
one of the politicians, it seems.
Bernard, B-E-R-N-A-R-D, Hebda, H-E-B-D-A.
Well, these two politicians are shady, but oh wait, I'm sorry, her.
Okay, yep, just
Sorry, all the politicians here
we
are
do not
shady
have
right
any
now.
further planned
Even
press
though,
conferences for
well,
today.
because
The
this is
focus
their
now switches
state, but
to the healing
these three
process,
politicians
which
are
will include some vigils tonight. We're encouraging people to show us support to those. If any more
they
information
don't have
does
the
become
great
available that we think is important to share with you, we
politics,
will let you know about if and when or how we're going to share that.
They don't have the
So until
greatest
tomorrow,
politics.
that's all we have for now. We have some information perhaps about vigils that might help.
Yeah, I just actually wanted to reiterate messages that are helpful for members of the public that want to support. Donating money is the best way for members of the community to support the victims of the Annunciation Church shooting. In coordination with the City of Minneapolis, the Minneapolis Foundation has established a text to donate line. To donate, the public can text ACF1, that's A as in apple, C as in cat, F as in fox, numeral 1 to 41444. That's ACF1 to 41444. The Minneapolis Foundation is hosting this fund and will continue to work with the community in the coming days and weeks to equitably distribute the funds to those affected. Thanks for the help in getting that information out to the public that wants to assist. What I can say is that the Minneapolis Foundation is hosting this fund, and they're going to work in the coming days to distribute the funding equitably to those who need it. I don't have any more information on me at this point, but happy to follow up with you.
I didn't miss the beginning. What's the...
Oh, the text line is ACF1 to text ACF1 to 41444.
to offer...
Nope. Is that it? Okay. And then there's a follow-up. Oh yeah, sorry. Let me make sure to get this for the all links will be in the description, right? All sources. And then here's a follow-up.
My name is Brian O'Hara, B-R-I-A-N, O''H-A-R-A. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. Good afternoon, and thank you all for your patience as we continue to gather the facts in this investigation
This is 5 hours ago.
into this truly unthinkable tragedy that happened here earlier today.
They might
I want to
have
make sure that
another
we are
one,
providing the
another
most
update.
accurate information possible, particularly as we speak around our victims. At this point, we know we have a total of 19 victims from this tragedy. 2 were young children, ages 8 and 10, that were sitting in the pews at Mass when they were shot and killed. They were pronounced deceased on the scene. There were another 14 children between the ages of 6 and 15 that were injured by gunfire. There were also 3 adults in their 80s that were parishioners here attending Mass that were also shot in this incident. The families of all of the children that have been affected have been notified. The coward that shot these victims took his own life in the rear of the church.
Oh, that's what he took.
That
his
coward
own
has
life.
been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. No prior criminal history.
Robin Westbrook.
As to the weapons used to perpetrate this horrific attack, there was a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. All 3 had been lawfully purchased by the shooter. At this stage, we believe that the shooter had acted alone. There is no indication of other suspects directly involved in carrying out this attack. Our investigators are working with other agencies in the process of executing 4 search warrants. 1 is for the church itself, where this crime occurred. The other 3 are residences nearby in the metro that are related to this shooter. Additional firearms are being recovered from those 3 residential locations as we speak. We are also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings. That content has since been taken down with the assistance of the FBI, and it now remains under active review by our investigators. We know this community is reeling and is in pain.
Sorry.
I want to ensure everyone in our community, this parish, all of the families affected, and all of our residents, that all of law enforcement collectively, local law enforcement, our county, our state, and all of our federal law enforcement partners have been here, and we are all working tirelessly to uncover the full scope of what happened, to try and identify a motive why it happened, and whether there are any other further details. We will continue to share updates as the investigation progresses, and we remain committed to being as transparent as possible while protecting the integrity of this investigation. In a moment, I will take... Thank you, Archbishop. As I mentioned, obviously, the investigation continues in its preliminary stages. I will take some questions now, and additionally, we will let you know when we can provide some updated information.
How are the injured students doing? What are their conditions at this point?
The question from Matt was, how are the injured students doing? I believe all of them have their parents with them now, and they are all expected to survive. All of the remaining victims are expected to survive. There is a range of injuries, however.
Chief, you said the weapons were acquired legally. Do we know when
Yes.
and where they were acquired?
I can tell you they were purchased recently.
Chief, can you tell us anything more about a possible
One of the videos starts with what appears to be a manifesto addressed to family and friends. It reads in part, "I was corrupted by this world and have learned to hate what life is. I'm tired of the pain this world gives out." It goes on to say, "I have wanted this for so long. I am not well. I am not right. I am a sad person haunted by these thoughts that do not go away. I know this is wrong, but I can't seem to stop myself." Robin signed it at the end. Much of the videos contain profanities, disturbing remarks, and gestures. Several guns, ammo, and magazines are also on full display. At one point, the suspected shooter
I was just saying,
appears to make a
I'll leave
direct
this
reference to the attack.
the links in the description, even though I accidentally the other thing we watched was another one, the same one. Sorry.
But that's it. That's the only people I'm sorry to. Those kids.
One of the videos starts with what
There you have it. It looks like he was making his own bullets too and whatnot. He was like equipping himself. Yeah, that's premeditated, and the dude went on a fucking spree. What a piece of shit. Anyways, there you have it. That is the church shooting, unfortunately.